Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 0.
Football predictions.
Power Rangers 0, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest with The Moose, and we're up for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Spanish La Liga games for the 14th to the 16th of March 2025. And you can see the details for all the matches that we're about to discuss in this podcast in the links in the description to our website, footballpredictions.net, alongside fixtures from just about every other football competition under the sun.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as match odds from local bookmakers and the latest team news. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. If you're streaming any matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware.
Now let's start off with a couple of relegation-threatened teams. Las Palmas in 19th, taking on Alaves in 18th. It's on Friday night, 14th of March, 8 p.m. UK time kickoff. And look in the description of the podcast and click the link and you'll be able to see your local kickoff time, odds, and available viewing options. You can stream this one on Bet365. To qualify for that, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you do join them, use the bonus code FP365. If you want to pay for a subscription, of course, you can watch it too on Premier Sports 1 and or La Liga TV. Well, Moose, I see that Alaves actually got a win, which is going to make them feel happy, but Las Palmas not doing well at all.
Oh no, Las Palmas, you gotta be scratching their heads about what's going on, because since they came back from that winter break, they've only picked up 2 points. That's 2 points from 9 games. And what makes that even more incredible is in the lead up to that winter break, Las Palmas was the informed team in La Liga. They had 6 wins from 9 games. One of those wins included an away win at Barcelona. So going into this one, having just got 2 points all year, that's not a great look. And last weekend, they lost 1-0 away to Real Betis. We predicted the outcome of that game. They did get a point at Valladolid. They picked up a 1-1 draw. But the last 2 home games, they played down Barcelona in the opposite fixture. They lost that 1-2-0. We predicted the outcome of that. And they played Villarreal recently at home as well. They lost that 1-2-1. But once again, just 2 points from the last 9 games. One thing that we have to mention is that Palmas do tend to score goal in each of their games. So of these 9 games, 7 of them has ended both teams to score. If we look at Alaves, their away team, like you said, I guess they finally picked up a win last weekend. They beat Villarreal 1-0 away. 1-0 at home. So that was a great result for them. Villarreal doing quite well at the top of the Liga there. But overall, Alaves is in slightly better form than Las Palmas. They picked up 2 wins since the winter break and another 3 draws, but still it's not looking good. And obviously, they're still in the relegation zone. However, they are just 1 point off Leganés and Valencia and 2 points from Espanyol just above them. So this is a really, really key game. Has to be said, Las Palmas is also just a couple of points of those teams. So this really is a key game at the bottom of La Liga. When we do look at some of the results of Alaves, just 1 game out of their last 7 has ended with over 2.5 goals. So it's tight games for Alaves. Like last weekend, 1-0 win, but then they have 3 1-0 defeats as well and a couple of 1-0 draws. So I think going into this one, we know it's going to be low scoring and we know it's going to be tight.
We do. In fact, we're sitting on the fence, I think, with this one because we can't really separate them. When you look at the table, they're right next to each other. The points very close, and neither of them likes to win very often. They do pick up the odd draw, but mainly losses. So we think they probably will end up cancelling each other out. But we think they'll both score. So we've gone for both teams to score prediction, which is pretty good, I think, because you can get odds of 2.1 for that. So it's not odds on. Could be a 0-0, could be a 1-1. But we've gone for both teams to score, so we think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. The odds for a draw you can get at the moment are 3.1, which I think is fairly healthy. And for the correct score prediction of 1-1 that we've gone for, we have got odds at the moment only of 6, which isn't great, but kind of tells you what the bookies are thinking as well. That's probably fairly likely. So our score draw, on the website, 14% of you think a score draw, 25% think a 0-0 draw. Most people think, 43% of you think Las Palmas, if anyone wins, they'll get the win. 18% Alaves. But yeah, we just looking at the odds, 3 for Las Palmas, 3.1 for the draw, 2.55 for the away win for Alaves. Anyway, we think 1-1. See how it goes. Next up, we've got Real Valladolid, who are at last taking on Celta Vigo, who are 9th. I hope we can still say Valladolid next season. It would be a shame for them to go down, but not looking good. It kicks off on the Saturday, the 15th of March, 1 p.m, lunchtime-ish kickoff. That's UK time. And of course, click the link in the description of the podcast and you can see your localized kickoff time, all the local odds to you, and broadcast streaming options available in your area. One of those is Bet365 for us here in the UK and many other countries outside of Spain. And to qualify to watch, all you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. You can use the bonus code FP365 when you sign up. It's also, if you like, paying for a subscription on Premier Sports 1 or La Liga TV. Now, Valladolid haven't won in such a long time, and Celta Vigo are kind of winning and drawing most games at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Valladolid is probably down and out with this form, this spiral of bad form they're in at the moment, and also conceding an awful lot of goals. They picked up just 1 point from the last 8 matches, and they've suffered some heavy defeats in between there. 7-1 at Bilbao a few weeks ago, 4-0 at home to Sevilla, 5-1 away to Villarreal. Just to mention a few, the most recent home game, though, they did manage to pick up a point, pick up a draw against fellow strugglers, Las Palmas. It's probably a team where they would have anticipated to maybe get something, and they did get a draw. Our main prediction for that game was under 2.5 goals. But yeah, we have also predicted the outcome of the other 5 of their latest 6 games with Valladolid, because we predicted them to lose every single
Funny
game.
That.
And they did. Yeah, Valladolid is not looking good form. They are not in good form. They're not looking good at all, in fact. They have scored just 18 goals as well all season. From 27 games, just 18 goals. They're sitting on 16 points, 11 points below Leganés from safety. So yeah, I think something really has to happen for Valladolid. If we have to say something about Valladolid and their form this season, obviously the points that they have picked up has been at home. So away from home, they have 13 defeats from 14 matches. But at home, they have picked up points in 7 out of their 13 games. So it is at home that they are trying to get something. But yeah, they're playing a Celta Vigo side here, traveling to Valladolid in a fairly decent form. They've won 3 from the last 5, unbeaten in those 5 as well. That includes an away draw at Atletico Madrid. That's a good point from a Celta Vigo perspective. But yeah, away from home, they are struggling slightly, Celta Vigo. They have picked up only 1 win all season away from home, 4 draws and 8 defeats. So maybe there's an opportunity for Valladolid here. But when it does come to Celta Vigo, they are obviously the more informed team. Like we said, they've had some tricky away games as well. Girona and Atletico of late, and they managed to pick up draws there. They will go to Valladolid with a bit of momentum, especially from that win last week against Leganés at home.
Yeah, and Celta Vigo haven't won away from home in their last 9 league games. So it's not been a great run, although, of course, they've bagged a lot of draws. But no wins away from home in 9. That's away from home, that is. That's quite interesting. But they haven't even beaten Valladolid in games away from home in the last 5 league matches. So it's not the best of away records for them. But Valladolid having such a terrible season, we can't really see them winning, even though they're at home in this one. We'd like to see them win for their sake, but it looks like they're going down. But we think, if you look at the results, they do score. Valladolid, they go down, but usually they go down, fighting most of the time, anyway, by scoring a goal. And that's what we think is going to happen here. We've gone for both teams to score prediction. The odds you can get for both teams to score 1.95, so it is odds on to happen. But that's our tip for this one. If you did want to go for the Celta Vigo to win, if you're betting, you can only get odds of 1.67, so a bit more appealing with both teams to score. So what do we think? We think it's going to be a close-ish game in terms of goals, and we've gone for Valladolid 1, Celta Vigo 2 as the correct score. Correct score prediction for that, the odds you can get currently on Bet365 I can see, which is the best odds I can see amongst all the bookies on our website. 8.5 is what you'll get for that away win, I should say, of 2-1, 8.5 odds. So let's see how it pans out and move on to Mallorca, who are sitting 7th in the table, taking on Espanyol, who are down in 15th. This is on Saturday, the 15th of March. It's 3:15 UK time. And for this one, click the link in the description of the podcast and you'll see your localized kickoff time and odds and all the channels and things like that. One of those is Bet365. To watch on there, all you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. So when you do join, if you're not with them already, use the bonus code FP365. It's also available on Premier Sports Player and La Liga TV if you want to pay to go down the subscription route for that. Now, what's interesting about this one is there's a bit of a pattern emerging, I think, for Mallorca.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of 1-1 draws.
And maybe for Espanyol as well.
4 out of the last 6 matches for Mallorca, or 4 out of the last 5, I should say, has ended all 1-1 draws, and 3 out of the last 6 on the Espanyol side has ended 1-1 draws.
Incredible.
That's not a clue as to what we're predicting later, but maybe both teams to score. But yeah, that's just to state that Mallorca, though, despite the draws, they have just one win since the winter break. So that's 9 matches, just one win, but they are unbeaten in 5 going into this game against Espanyol. We have had quite a few of the goal predictions correct here. If we do look at Mallorca, out of these 6 games, we have predicted the goals market every single time, whether that's both teams to score or and under 2.5 goals. So bear that in mind also. Like we've had some solid predictions there on the goals. For Espanyol, last weekend, he had a 1-1 draw, surprisingly. 1-1 draw at home to Girona. We had under 2.5 goals in that one. And we also had under 2.5 goals in the previous 2 games to that, when Espanyol went to Alaves and beat them 1-0. And then in that 1-1 draw against Athletic Bilbao. Overall, Espanyol, since coming back from the winter break, just 1 defeat. That was at Real Sociedad. 3 wins, 4 draws, and 1 defeat since the winter break. So not too bad from an Espanyol perspective, but they are sitting just 2 points above the relegation zone still. So it's still not been enough to pull away properly from the drop zone. And going into this Mallorca game, it's going to be a tricky test for Espanyol.
Yes, we think it will be a bit of a tricky test for them. And Mallorca, they've got to win eventually, right? You can't be doing 1-1 draws ad infinitum. So we think in this one that it's actually going to be both teams to score. And actually, the odds you can get for that are pretty good. 2.25. There's good value in that, we think, because if you do want to go for a Mallorca win, which we also are predicting, you can only get 1.8. So bookies are thinking like us. It's odds on to win for them. Although, you know what, they haven't actually won against Espanyol in the last 4 matches in the league. But they are, on the other hand, undefeated in their last 3 home league matches. So, yeah, we think they'll get it. And we think they'll get it fairly comfortably too. We've gone for a 3-1 correct score prediction. I tell you what, the odds of that are absolutely incredible. 19. 18 to 1 in fractional for a 3-1 correct score prediction. So I'd have a little bit on that if I was a betting man. Just looking at the prices, the betting prices for this game as well, you get 1.8 on Mallorca, 3.3 for a draw, and Espanyol are out at 5. So not very heavily fancied in this one. Let's see how it goes. But 3-1, that's the correct score prediction, with a both teams to score tip for that game. Next, we've got Villarreal in 5th, taking on Real Madrid, who snuck through, didn't they, against Atletico last night in a really tense penalty shootout, which is very unfortunate, I think, on Atleti. But they got through, as they always somehow do. It's on Saturday, the 15th of March. It's 5:30 p.m. UK time, that is. Check the link in the description of the podcast, and you'll be able to see your local kickoff time odds, broadcasting, streaming channels. This one's a big game. It's going to be on Premier Sports 1 and La Liga TV on subscription. But if you want to watch it on Bet365, all you need to qualify for that is the funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use the bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Now, Villarreal had a bit of a disappointing loss in their last game, but they've been doing pretty well before that, so they should hold up a little bit of hope against Real Madrid, shouldn't they?
Yeah, it was a surprise last weekend when they lost 1-0 at Alaves, because prior to that they had 4 wins and 2 draws from the last 6. Going into that game, probably anticipated to have picked up a point at least. Villarreal is still within reach. They played 1 game less than Athletic Bilbao, sits in 4th for that Champions League spot. They got 5 points up, but yeah, if they win that game in hand, they are only 2 points behind Bilbao, so they still have an awful lot to play for in terms of that Champions League spot. And they do have a home game coming up against Bilbao as well. The next home game after Real Madrid is actually Bilbao at home, so that's a real decider potentially for that 4th spot. But yeah, in terms of the results for Villarreal has only been in La Liga action, so no midweek games for them for the many past weeks. Their most recent home game, because they've had 2 away games, they lost at Alaves. We then had a correct score prediction at Vallecano. They won that game 1-0. We predicted 1-0 in that game. In their most recent home game, that ended 1-1 against Valencia. Maybe a little bit disappointing considering where Valencia is, but Valencia is picking up form in La Liga. They moved themselves out of the drop zone. We had under 2.5 goals as our main prediction, ended 1-1. We predicted Villarreal to beat Las Palmas away, to beat Valladolid at home, and then we had both teams to score at Atletico Madrid. So our predictions on Villarreal has been really, really solid. If we look at Real Madrid, the last 6 games, obviously a bit skewed because they have Champions League games, they have Copa del Rey games in there. So when we are talking about the form of Real, let's focus on the La Liga only, because actually in La Liga, Real Madrid's only won 2 from the last 6 matches, and that's 2 home games. That was it last weekend. Last weekend at home to Rayo Vallecano, we said 2-1 Real Madrid. Guess what? It ended 2-1 Real Madrid in that game. So that was a really good prediction from us. And in the away game to Betis beat Real Madrid 2-1. We had both teams to score. That's our main prediction for that one. And then we should just mention that we predicted Real to win 2-0 against 3-0. Was our prediction against Girona. They beat them 2-0. But yeah, Real Madrid, they're a little bit, they're looking good in Europe for sure. I mean, they almost got knocked out by Atletico though. But yeah, they have a lot of balls in the air at the moment with the Champions League, the Copa del Rey, then back to La Liga. They are on points with Barcelona. Both of them have 57 points at the top of La Liga. Barcelona has got a game in hand. So this, to Real Madrid as well, is a really important game, because any drop points, considering Barcelona has a game in hand, that could be very costly at the end of the season.
Yeah, and not a lot of goals, going for Real Madrid this season. You tend to score like 2 and maybe concede 1 in a lot of these games. And similarly for Villarreal, actually, it's not massive scorelines. Is it 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 1-2? They did have the 5-1 against Valladolid, but they're bottom of the table. So it's going to be tight, we think. But inevitably, the cream rises to the top, doesn't it? So we think it's probably going to be a Madrid win. But we've gone for both teams to score. That's the important point I was trying to make there. That's our tip. You can only get, unfortunately, 1.44 in the odds market for that. Whereas maybe surprisingly, Real Madrid to win, you get 2.15. So take your pick. But we're thinking the safe one is probably going to be both teams to score. Real Madrid not being, at their ultimate best, in the last weeks. But like we said earlier, they just managed to squeeze the wins out, don't they? Somehow that mentality just comes through. But how about this for an interesting stat? Real Madrid have not emerged victorious against Villarreal when they've played them away from home in the last 7 league games. And they're away from home. They're without a win in the last 3 matches in the league as well. This is Real Madrid. Yeah. So, they're not necessarily doing that well, but we think they'll just get over the line. It's difficult to bet against them. But we've gone for a 2-1 away win to Real Madrid. Here are the odds. You can get 3.1 for a Villarreal win, 3.75 for a draw, and 2.15 for a Real Madrid win. So, could be an interesting game. By the way, for that 2-1 correct scoreline prediction, the current odds are 9.5, which I think is pretty good if you want to have a nibble on that one. Right. Done with that one. Let's move on to the summary games. Girona in 13th, taking on Valencia in 16th. It's on Saturday, the 15th of March, 8 p.m. UK time. You can watch this one on Bet365. To qualify, all you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up and use the bonus code FP365 to watch it there. It's also available on subscription, Premier Sports Fund, La Liga TV as well. For this one, we've gone for an under 2.5 goals tip with a correct score of Girona 1, Valencia 0.
Yes, and then moving on till Sunday, 16th of March at 1 o'clock UK time. We've got Leganés in 17th, takes on Real Betis in 6th. Another game you can watch on Bet365. And in order to qualify, all you need to have is a funded account. Also, place bet in the last 24 hours. And when you join, please use that bonus code FP365. We're going for another low-scoring game here, but we are going for an away win this time. We're going for a Real Betis win under 2.5 goals and 1-0 on the correct score for Betis.
Next up, it's Sevilla, 10th in the table, taking on Athletic Bilbao, who are up in 4th. It's on Sunday, the 16th of March, 3:15 UK time in the afternoon. Stream it on Bet365, and all you need for that is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours using that bonus code FP365 when you sign up. You can also watch it on subscription, Premier Sports 2 got it, and La Liga TV. Now, could be an interesting game. Could be very tight, we think, this one. And we've actually gone for a draw. Both teams to score is the tip. And the correct score is going to be Sevilla 1, Athletic Bilbao 1.
Yes, and we've got a Real Vallecano in 8th against Real Sociedad in 11th. This game takes up Sunday, 16th of March, 5:30 UK time. Another game you can watch on Bet365. And in order to qualify, once again, all you need is a funded account or to place the bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up, bonus code FP365. Now for this game, we're going another tight game. We're going with both teams to score as our main prediction, but our correct score is a 1-1. So that's a score draw 1-1.
Next up, we've got Osasuna, 14th in the table, taking on Getafe in 12th. It's on Sunday, the 16th of March, 5:30 p.m. UK time kickoff. It's on Premier Sports Player, La Liga TV. They're your streaming options for a subscription. And if you don't want to pay a subscription, go to Bet365 to qualify to watch there. All you need on their live stream is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Join using the bonus code FP365. For this one, we've gone for under 2.5 goals as our tip, and we've gone for an Osasuna home win to the tune of 1-0.
Yes, and then we move on to probably the match of the weekend, which is Atletico Madrid in 3rd, takes on Barcelona in 1st. Now, just a point separates these two teams going into this game. This game kicks off Sunday, 16th of March at 8 o'clock UK time. And for this game, we are going to go with a Barcelona win of 2-1. So that's both teams to score, Barcelona to win, correct score 2-1 Barcelona.
Yeah, it'll be a great one to watch. That one in the UK, anyway, is on Premier Sports 2, La Liga TV, ITV4 have even got it. But if you want to stream it on Bet365, you can do so. All you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use the bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. Full details for that are available on the Bet365 website. 18 plus, a gamble aware.
Yes, and in the description area of this podcast, you'll find links to the fixtures we've just covered, or simply head to the footballpredictions.net website. On there, you can have a look at all the online places to see the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our predictions of different betting markets, team news, as well as the latest offers and odds.
And if you weren't aware, we produce football podcasts, the Moose and myself, for a number of competitions as well as this one. And you can hear them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net or where you access your podcasts from, like YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. That is it. Thank you for joining us. And for the time being, it is
Adios.
Adios, amigo.
A football prediction.